Greetings, Broadway babies! It's Emily here with...
Gerald!
And Cody.
And we just saw In the Heights, and we're really excited because not only did we just see it, we want to talk about it, but we have a special guest with us today.
Yeah, special guest.
Jaime Robledo!
Whoa,
Yay!
Jamie!
Tell us a little bit about yourself real quick before we get started.
Well, I am a writer and director out here in Los Angeles, and I have directed Emily in, I don't know if you talk about Mr. Burns.
I talk about Mr. Burns every chance I get. One of these days I'm going to make a video about it, I swear.
So I am that director of Mr. Burns. I'm very pleased to be here on the set of Steam and Focus.
I know, right? So professional. We're so excited because we saw In the Heights. And I really wanted Jamie to be here because the last movie that I saw in theaters before the everything was with Jamie at Universal City Walk. We saw the musical Cats.
Yeah, we saw Cats.
Saw Cats.
We saw Cats.
And we laughed a lot. We had a good time, but we all know that it was the sign of the end times. So now that we're all vaccinated and things are coming back to normal, I really wanted our return to the movie theaters to be with Jamie. And so, yes. So, In the Heights. So this movie was supposed to come out last summer in 2020. It did not. Because of the stuff.
Because of the Backstreet Boy reunion tour.
Yeah, the Backstreet Boy reunion tour.
Wow.
Boy Kev! It finally got released today in theaters and on streaming services. And before we get into it, why don't we just go down the line and kind of talk about our experience with the show.
I came in with fresh eyes. I'd never seen the show. I've heard the cast recording. My dad loved it, and he doesn't love a lot of theater. Caveat, I'm a Puerto Rican from the Bronx, so this show is like
it's a place in the sky.
Right, it's about my peoples.
My people!
Just a big fan of Lin-Manuel, and I was super excited about seeing it on the big screen.
Okay, so we've seen the show. Where did we see it? The Pantages?
You saw it at the Pantages, yes, because I saw it with you at the Pantages.
Yes, that's right.
The national tour.
Yes, the national tour, and it was amazing. And during the touring company, we also got to see Lin-Manuel play Usnavi, which was really cool.
And then I saw it on Broadway in 2009. I had just started teaching at this middle school, teaching like choir and musical theater, and all the kids were really into it. And so I saw the show, and it absolutely blew me away. Seeing it on Broadway, there's just kind of nothing like it. The energy in that room was just like, it was like you couldn't believe what you were seeing. And then I saw the tour at the Pantages. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Between the Broadway and national tour, I've seen a lot of the original cast too.
I was at the ArcLight when they were doing the show in LA, mm-hmm. and I saw Lin-Manuel Miranda, and people I was with had no idea who he was.
Oh my God.
No idea. And I'm like,
oh my God.
You're Lin-Manuel Miranda. You are Puerto Rican. You are a hero of mine.
Aww.
Thank you so much. And he I mean, I guess he was taken aback. This is before he became a mega giant superstar.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I don't normally gush. And I gush at the weirdest times, but I gushed with him.
Well, see, when we've talked about this in a past video, but when Jeff and I saw Mary Poppins Returns, Janelle hooked us up. Our friend Janelle, who works for Variety, and so we got to meet Lynn, and he was really cool, and he like took a really discreet photo, like selfie with us from down low, because everyone would have wanted to take a photo with him, because very different
places. She gets people to do that.
It was my birthday weekend, so she pushed me forward and was like, "It's her birthday," and then also. He knew Matt Murphy, and Matt Murphy, our family friend, took his headshots. So that was our in. So,
that makes sense.
But all of that, I've taught like a In the Heights medley to kids. Like it's become a big kind of school show, which I think as it should. It's great for kids, especially if you've got like a nice LA public school where you actually do have a good diverse amount of kids.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think it's really good. What do you guys want to talk about with the movie? Let's do like general thoughts. We'll do general thoughts first, and then we'll get into maybe spoiler territory.
Some nitty gritty.
I don't really know what the spoiler is. So Cody and Gerald, you start.
Well, I mean, we had kind of a little emotional experience watching this movie. Like, I mean, I don't remember feeling so like touched and moved by the show when we saw it on the stage and everything.
I know, and it moved us to tears.
You were
At
very
several
sniffly
points.
next to me.
Yeah, we were bawling a little bit here and there, and it was more than just the story. I think it was a lot of just like the connections that the cast were making and little moments but like seeing Lynn up there doing like the Piragua guy, like that was really charming to watch, and like the moment that. I don't want to go too much into it, but like there's like a connection moment that I saw, like when they're on the beach with Lynn and Anthony Ramos, and just seeing him like, oh, you're taking up the torch, man, and I was like,
oh, you're picking up my mantle. Oh, it's his son.
Tears.
It's his son
Tears.
from Hamilton.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, Jamie, what'd you think?
I thought it was fantastic. Now I have some quibbles with the story structure. That's just my writer brain, but I don't think it took away from the performances or the power of the music. And I think that Daphne Rubin Vega and Jimmy Smits were the MVPs of this movie.
They were killing it.
Legends.
Jimmy Smits doing just going at it. I love me some.
Morning, Usnavi.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So I really liked it a lot. I think I think I'm with you, Jamie, because there were some changes made. Some I get because it's a movie and some stuff needed to be a little more cinematic and focused. Than kind of more so than like the slice of life that like kind of the stage musical is.
Sure.
And then some of the changes I was kind of like, why is this a change? I think it'll be better when I watch it again because I kept watching it going, okay, so this is different. Okay, so this is a change. All right, this structure is, okay, wait, where's this song? And who's this character again? Why is this character here? So, I think I'm gonna enjoy it more when I watch it again, and I'm just gonna be able to like let it wash over me instead of kind of knowing the show a little like too well.
Because I'd forgotten a lot of it. I think that's why I could kind of let it wash over me a little bit more. And I'm not as much of like a stage writer person, so I don't pay attention
That's
to that
what
kind
we're
of stuff
called,
as
stage
much.
writer.
It's
person.
stage writer people.
I'm not a stage writer people.
But we all really liked it. I think it's really worth a watch. I think it's really
definitely.
beautiful. The musical numbers are amazing. John Chu does a really great job making them really fantastical, like using the medium of film and the fact that we're in a musical. You have to suspend disbelief for people to jump in a song anyway, so why not just go all out and have it be completely like we're dancing on the wall and we have,
great.
cloth in the sky.
Or like the bopping mannequin heads and stuff. Like
but
when
the
they kinda
bopping
took
mannequin heads.
Bopping mannequin.
Yeah, that
They
was
were doing
wacky.
they were doing the hand stuff and then the
and
paint.
then the drawing.
They were
They were
tap
doing
dancing with
drawing,
their nails at that scene.
Yeah.
That
too.
was pretty cool.
I
Very,
like that.
very Dolly Parton. Okay, so I want to get into some of the things that kind of made me go, huh? Okay, or the changes, I guess. So one of the things they made clear that Carla and Daniela are a couple, which I liked because in the stage show it's kind of subtext. But they added a whole new character. And that was Dasha. Dasha Polanco is the actor.
Dasha.
I don't really know what she kind of added. Like, because they do kind of the same stuff in the show. It's
Yeah.
just the two of them
Yeah.
who are kind of doing it. Like, it wasn't bad, but I was like,
It was just interesting to make them a trio instead of a duo.
yeah.
This kind of reminded me when I went to see Rocky, the musical on Broadway. Which is weird watching Rocky, the musical on Broadway, because a lot of it is the movie, so you know it very well, and it's like weird watching other people do this stuff. But they added some sassy friends for Adrian who also work in the pet store. And it is the most bizarre thing. They don't belong there, but they're there.
She was good and she was like cute and funny. I just kind of was like, okay, all right.
I don't think she took away
They
from
also got rid of Nina's mom. They killed her off. So they made Jimmy Smits a single father. And I kind of get why they did that. But on the other hand, it was Priscilla Lopez on Broadway, and I kind of thought it would be cool to have Priscilla Lopez, but like, I think they were trying to, so they got rid of the mom, but then they added this other character. And then they added a whole bunch of plot. And they moved a lot of stuff around. Spoilers, I guess, for like the Act 1.
Are you gonna put a little thing here?
Yeah, I'll edit something. So in the stage version of In the Heights, Usnavi finds out at the end of Act 1 that Abuela Claudia won the lotto, right? She goes, Usnavi, please promise me, right? And then they have a whole song about how they're gonna go to the Dominican Republic. So her death is like at the 11 o'clock point almost in the show.
Yeah, it's the 11 o'clock number for the show.
Yeah, it's so.
But there's also 3 or 4 other 11 o'clock numbers for the
sure.
show.
Yeah. So Usnavi kind of has the money kind of from the get-go. It's not like a big reveal like it is in the movie. And I get why they did that. It makes it a little more exciting, I guess.
It makes more sense as a cinematic device, than in a play, because the play wasn't about that. It was just like you said, it's a slice of life.
It's just kind of the people. Yeah. And then the blackout is usually the Act 1 finale. And in this, they put Abuela Claudia's big song right after it and made it her kind of death transition song. Which I didn't think was a bad idea, but it kind of took a little bit away from Blackout for me. Or the look at the fireworks, that kind of thing. Sure. Oh, the other thing is they honed down Benny and Nina's story a lot. They have a lot more. They have a lot more going on. And they pushed even some of it onto Vanessa and Usnavi. But there was a lot of Nina and Benny stuff. They have that whole like kind of post-coital song at the top of Act 2 that they didn't do in this.
Yeah, and instead they just sort of like
Sunrise.
mention like offhand that they had sex, right?
Yeah,
like,
they kind of just, or like that they had been a couple.
During Carnival
because
Barrio.
in the stage version, the dad is kind of prejudiced. He doesn't really want Benny dating her because he's black. And I think they just didn't maybe they just didn't want that. Like, maybe they were like, I don't know, the dad needs to be kind of more likable than that. I don't know, but it was definitely more. Nina is kind of, I would almost say in the stage version, Usnavi and Nina are like the two leads. And Benny and Vanessa are more supporting, but they swapped Nina and Vanessa.
Right, but what it does is it takes a while to resolve and unwind the climax of each relationship, and it adds some time to the show. It feels like it's so weighted at the second act of the film that it feels a little long because you spent all this weight on these two relationships. That takes a while to unpack.
Yeah, Nina and Benny. It's like he always had a crush on her in the stage show, and they in the movie they're like old flames, like they used to.
They had already dated, and he broke up with her.
They had like a flirty, but then because the end of Blackout is so exciting because they've been fighting because Benny's mad at her about the dad closing the store, the taxi cab company,
right?
So and it used to end with them kind of doing like a big climactic kiss at the end of Act 1 when the fireworks are happening. And it's like amazing to watch. Like it was really cool. But they kind of transferred that to Usnavi. Okay, Gerald, you go over there because we're very hot. It's very warm. And the adults, we need to cool down.
He needs to cool down. We need to cool down.
Summer! We need a big municipal pool to jump into and dance.
Oh my God. By the way, that scene with all the big like set piece numbers were handled really well.
Yeah.
I like that they really translated the choreography from the kind of the stage show, because Hamilton and In the Heights have, I think, I could be wrong, I think they have the same choreographer. It's that very like I'm dancing in my spot and kind of doing my own thing in my isolated little position.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same choreographer who did Cats, too.
Oh.
I don't think it worked in Cats.
No, it didn't really work in Cats, but it works in this for sure. I like that that they kind of made a lot of the set pieces their own, because, again, 96,000 is pretty iconic.
Yeah, and in this, it's even more iconic almost, because before it's a really great number just dancing in front of the stage and everything. In this, now you have this crazy set piece of
In
the
the
municipal
pool.
pool.
Yeah.
Like with all this awesome dancing and like the cool down moment at the end of the number where it's and it gets low from 96, but
Right.
it goes underwater.
Once we get doing,
Like-
we're never gonna.
Yeah, they did that. That's kind of borrowed from La La Land, where the guy jumps off the jumps off the roof into the pool.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
You know, I loved, you know, I'm a sucker for like people just dancing in the streets with perfect choreography. It kind of reminded me of like, I was like, oh, this is the 2021 like Oliver, like everyone walking down the street, like all doing their or Newsies, you know.
But they're not
Very
like
easy.
models and stuff. They're regular people.
They all
you know?
looked amazing. Oh my gosh. The little snippets of kind of the real world of what Washington Heights is actually like. Just
Playing
all these little
dominoes
scenes.
and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they really captured that well. There's been like this like thing about Anthony Ramos. Like there's all these women who were just like in love with him. And I gotta say, I never really got it. I was like, he's cute, but like I don't get it. I get it now. I get it now. He was so good. What a star turn. He's also really good at just being like kind of adorable, like adorkable. He was really awkward and like tongue-tied, and oh my gosh, he was so cute. I thought he was really good.
I agree. I totally agree. And I remember seeing Lynn playing the role when we saw it at the Pantages and stuff. And I love Lynn doing that part. But at the same time, I like seeing Anthony Ramos do it. I was like, okay, this is like...
Yeah. Well, and there was a great moment during the
amazing.
Carnaval del Barrio when Lynn was singing Pariba esa bandera, and Anthony was looking up at him, and it was like, oh!
Every moment that they had them like
Torch
connecting.
passing!
I just wanted to say the kid who played Sonny, Gregory Diaz the Fourth, apparently.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
There was not a moment in that movie that I disbelieved that kid. Like
Yeah.
he was so good. Oh my god, I loved that kid.
Yeah, and they gave him a dreamer storyline, basically.
Which
like,
what a great thing to add.
it would have
my
been
God.
it would have been really interesting to have that in
I mean,
actually 2020, like kind of that last year of Trump.
I mean, that's probably why they put that in. I remember when Trump was elected, and I felt very bad as a Hispanic person. But yeah, I think it wore its politics on its sleeve, which I liked. I liked that, you know, they talk about they give a list of women, Latin women.
Yeah,
Right. You got
That was
Cheetah
really cool.
and Rita, and then they
And Frida Kahlo's in
and
there.
Dolores Huerta, and then
Mm-hmm.
they end with, you know, and also Sonia
Sotomayor, yeah.
who was born in the Bronx in Grand Concourse, which is like a big street that goes through the Bronx, passes by Yankee Stadium. So she's from there. So it was a real good nod to the gente, mi peoples.
Yeah. Well, and so they do. So they have a framing device where it looks like Usnavi has gone to the Dominican Republic, and he is there with some kids at a bar, El Sueñito.
It's so white.
I'm very yes.
Good job.
Yes.
It's fine. It's fine to be.
So he's on the beach, kind of at his beach bar, telling the story of In the Heights, and then it's revealed he's been in the Heights the whole time. The beach is in his bodega.
Did you also? I mean, I think they did a pretty good job at keeping that reveal until the very end, with the exception of when they kept on making these little nods throughout the film that there was like something else going on with that. Like when they did the close up of the very iridescent green crab that was like scuttling over his stuff.
Oh.
And then at the end, when they said, I did the green crab, my brain went, oh! And I made the connection immediately that, like, he never leaves.
I didn't get it. I missed it. I didn't get it. So good
See,
on you.
I just kept going, okay, so...
Who is the screenwriter? I need to give a shout out to her.
Chiara Alegria Judes?
Yes.
Did she do the book of the music? And she did the book of the stage musical, so she
is
adapted it.
Fantastic. She had a very tough job to making this believable on film, and I'm really really pleased by all the threads she had to keep going and
Yeah.
to making it fresh and interesting for film. Because doing a musical that's sung through so much is
It's almost an operetta.
it's almost an operetta. It could be boring as hell on film, and she made it really exciting
And fun to watch.
Yeah, they really kind of opened things up and they fleshed out Vanessa a lot. Her abs are amazing, and they showed them all the time, and she was beautiful. And apparently, her name is Melissa Barrera, and she
was in Step It Up 2.
I think she is
Step Up 2, whatever it's
a
called.
Mexican actress, because all of her credits she
Are
doesn't
Mexico?
have. Looks like it, yeah. So, maybe she has a huge, career in Spanish-speaking television or film, and this is her big breakthrough
I still
a year
feel
later
like I've
after she
seen
got
her,
it.
like around
I mean,
here and there or something.
she's beautiful, and she's really good, and she's a really good actor. She's a great dancer. I mean, she's triple threat. She's really good.
Totally.
And then the gal playing
She's killing
Nina has even fewer credits. I think she was very sweet. She was very good. I loved her voice. There she is, Leslie Grace. She doesn't have super a lot of credits, so they must have been hunting for an unknown. I feel like she might be very young.
She seems very.
Well, she was supposed to be playing 19?
19,
Is that how
something
old
like that,
it is?
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so that makes sense. She might just actually be pretty young still.
Yeah.
She just finished her first year of Stanford, so
Right.
That makes sense.
Searched her. They searched her.
I know.
Searched her.
I loved just how everyone looked in this movie. Everyone looked really good. The costumes looked amazing. Everyone just looked beautiful. I loved Lin-Manuel's bushy beard and his little paunch. I thought it was really cute.
It was I agree.
He looked really good with
He was adorable.
Lynn, you look really good with a beard. I think, does he have a beard on his Dark Materials? He's got at least scruff.
He's got some scruff. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But Lynn, you look great.
I loved having him as the Piragüero.
There you go.
But it was really cool. Chris Jackson, who is his BFF and who is the original Benny and who is the original George Washington, he was Mr.
Softy, right?
So they got to be a little.
Have you had Mr. Softy before?
Have
you ever had
I
Mr.
never
Softy?
have. I
that
never
was
have.
my ice cream of choice growing up. We
Same.
get it because it's soft serve ice cream. Back in the day, you had two flavors. You had vanilla, you had chocolate. And then you can have a cone.
That's
or a
all
cup.
you could have.
That's really all they gave. And
Yeah.
then you can have sprinkles, or you can have chocolate sprinkles, or you can have rainbow sprinkles. So my thing was vanilla cone with a rainbow sprinkles.
And then he poured his juice all over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's a tough
Kids
job.
were being a jerk to him.
Dude,
Oh my
Piragua's
gosh.
tough
the
Piraguas,
Piragua
because
guy.
you gotta shave the ice.
Yeah.
You just gotta shave it
Oh,
and shave it, and then you gotta little scoop it, and then eating it is amazing.
I wish we had some Piragua.
Get to the unflavored ice at the bottom.
Yes, because it's
And-
just a clump of ice
Yep.
at the bottom.
It's all fused together.
Daphne Rubin Vega,
Calor.
man,
I-
she's fantastic. I didn't recognize her. I mean,
I
'cause
didn't at first either, and then I was
she
like,
was,
oh, wait.
because she was a sex pot in
Rent.
Rent, and then she didn't do the movie because she was one of the smart people in the cast who said, I'm a little long in the tooth to do
Too
this.
old to do this.
I'm a little too. I know. She had the right idea. I wish the rest of the cast took.
Yeah. Well, I met her when I was like 16, and I went to see Rent, and I brought my Rent book, and she whipped out a gold pen at the door, and she signed my book and hugged me, and I'll never forget it. And I loved seeing her as Daniela. She was so good.
Perfect.
I loved seeing her do the Carnaval del Barrio, which is like the best number in the show. I love that moment. It's so good in the movie too. They're all just having a grand old party,
Yeah.
and they're doing some amazing dancing, and they're all flying their flags, and oh my gosh, it's so good.
All the casting in general was just really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody fit their role so well
Yeah.
and just killed it.
Daphne Rubin Vega's character and the trio. Like I have aunts like that.
They were so fun.
that
And
are
their
just
salon
fun and
no
loud
Vega
and-
was so good.
Yeah.
The way that it was really cool to see some of these moments that you like to hear in like the scoring kind of punctuated with kind of cinematic elements, especially like at the top of 96,000 where they were just the boys going down the street, and then like the little sketchings of all
Yeah, you had the
of
little
their
bits of
movements.
animation and stuff. Yeah,
It just added like kind of this little zhuzh to it.
You have the bodegas, and you
Yeah.
have so every bodega, like they kind of run the numbers in the back. So I always thought that the lotto was the numbers, which is like, you got your mobsters, you got running numbers. That's what the
Snobby
lotto
is
was.
not savvy
right.
enough to be a mobster.
But no, but they don't do it. But they have people that run the numbers, and
That was
that's
Abuela
kind of
Claudia.
right.
yeah.
So,
she was
That was
the
it.
she was the real.
so that's what when I grew up, my grandma would always play the numbers in her local bodega, and it was just, and she won a couple times. It was never like 96,000. So when they showed it in the film, it was like the state lottery, which was really I guess they had to Hollywood it up.
Zhuzh a little bit to make it work within the context.
Yeah, because
it's
it's I mean it's bookies. They're running the numbers out of the back of.
Well,
bodegas.
maybe it was in the laundry place run by Patrick Page, who was Hades in Hadestown.
Oh my God!
And was the sexy Green Goblin in Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark. So
I didn't
as
see
soon
that.
as
I wish I did.
When
Me
I
too.
saw him in Hadestown, I was in the front row of the mezzanine, and you can feel his voice resonating in your gut.
the real best.
He's
Yeah.
really
Oh my God. I that was one of the last shows on Broadway that I saw. I went to a trip just before it all ended. That was him. That was him.
Yeah. So he was the laundry guy. So maybe he's the mobster because he's got the deep voice.
That's funny that they got Patrick Page to do that too. Like he.
Well,
it's not
like
he
they
did
filmed
much
it
else in it, right?
He just had a little part,
a little
but
cameo part.
his part was bigger than Mark Anthony's.
Oh, I saw Mark Anthony in the credits, and I was like, wait, where was he? Like, I don't.
I peed during his one scene. So again, I'll watch
and I'm
it
like,
again.
oh my God, it's Mark Anthony.
Well,
it's Mark
apparently
Anthony.
they wrote a new song. So, but as per the movie musical code for ye old Academy Award gods, you have to write a new song. Thankfully, they did not put it in the movie.
Right.
It was
they
playing
rarely
in the,
put it in the movie.
Yeah, it was
It's
playing in
always-
the credits.
It's always a credit movie.
So it looked like it was a Mark Anthony song. So
It was, yeah, and like he was like
sure, why not?
strung out and tough, and he's got like his pants unzipped.
Oh,
so
he was a bad
he was
dad
a bad
for
guy.
Sonny.
I didn't even
Bad
recognize
dad.
him.
Bad dad for
He
Sonny.
was
He
Sonny's dad.
was Sonny's dad.
Okay,
yeah.
so-
See, I didn't even.
See? Now, I loved that Olga Merediz is the other original cast member from the show besides Lynn. She originated Abuela Claudia, and she got to play her again in the film, which is great because I remember seeing her on stage, and, this was a decade ago, and I'm not sure how old she is, but she's not like at death's door like Abuela Claudia is.
Yeah.
She's a good, like, healthy woman.
Well,
And
maybe Claudia was unhealthy. I mean, she didn't take her medicine.
I know she wasn't treating her.
She was healthy,
Anyway.
and she didn't take her medicine.
I know, but I remember in the stage show she has instead of in the movie. So in the movie when she starts singing her song, it's like really faint. You hear Calor, Calor. But in the stage show, she like stands down center, and because she's got a belt to the balcony, so she goes Calor, and it's amazing. And so I really loved her song was so good.
Yeah.
They obviously filmed it at like the train museum,
the
right?
transit museum,
Yeah.
which is I love that place.
I've
So-
been there once or twice. It's a great place. So it's like another kind of like surreal moment where she's like in these subway trains, and then where is she from? She's from Havana.
Right.
So everyone's kind of dressed like they're from there, and then it's like all these ghosts, and oh my god,
It is a crazy
It's really good.
dream sequence moment.
It works
that-
really well.
I think it's probably
They're
the
in the
most.
tunnel, and then one side is color, and then one side is drag.
And in the
and then-
stage show, she's just kind of telling her story, but in the film, they use it to show that she is dying.
They used the medium. They
Yeah.
used film to enhance that experience.
Yeah,
Like, totally.
but I gotta say, it was kind of hard having her go a little earlier than she does in the show because you spend a little more time with her in the
Right.
show, so it means a little bit more when she goes. I was kind of like, oh, that sucks, but I don't feel like how when they do hundreds of stories at the top of Act 2, when she and Usnavi are like, we're gonna do this thing, and it's this great bonding
Right.
moment with the two of them, and then when she dies, it's like, oh, that got ripped away.
Yeah.
And this kind of, the way they changed it kind of took that moment away, and it kind of didn't have the same effect for me, but I noticed sniffles from both of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what they do is they set her up as the matriarch of Washington Heights,
Yeah.
and it's just not enough weight to that. I mean, it hit me in a personal, grandma's dying.
Yeah,
it's sad.
It's still
as
a
hell.
good
Sad.
scene. It's still
It's a
done
great
well.
scene. It's done beautifully, and makes everyone think of their grandmas. I don't know if the aftermath is earned for her being like, we lost this great woman.
And they took
Yeah.
away one of Nina's songs because of it. I think she has this song called "Everything I Know," where she's kind of makes her decision, what to do next, and is kind of referring to Claudia, and she got kind of put on the back burner into like the supporting role, and they bumped up Vanessa. They made this whole thing about Vanessa wanting to be a fashion designer,
Right.
And they made her way more instrumental in what keeps Usnavi there. Like in the show, Graffiti Pete pulls down the grate with Abuela Claudia's like his spray paint artwork on it, and it's Sunny and Graffiti Pete who did it. But in the movie, they added Vanessa into it, kind of showing. I don't know why her design work made him want to.
I don't.
I kind of was like, at the end, she's like,
Yeah.
open your eyes, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be the art reveal. But then it was like her clothing,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, she's getting inspired. And then he turns his head, and then it's like, there's my beautiful beach, and there's.
She needed more like.
I kind of was like, I
revs and-
see what you're going for here. I don't know if it quite. It was kind of like, okay.
It was a little weird.
I love that duet the two of them have near the end of the second act. I've always loved that little scene because it's a good acting scene, and like, what's it called? Champagne, right? Where he's like, I'm trying to get the twisty
and it's
thing
so
off.
it's just so
It's so
sweet and human,
cute.
and like you can
I like it.
you can see yourself in those moments, like at every point. You're just like, oh yeah, I've had moments like this in my life.
Yeah.
Very well.
It's
Calor.
hot in here.
Calor,
a lot
calor.
in here. I'm a big fan of Benny's Dispatch. I just like that
yeah.
song. I feel like no one ever talks about that song.
No, it's a great song.
Because I like the horn honks, and I like how Benny, in the opening number, every character, you can kind of hear like their musical theme when they're introduced. And when Benny comes in, he gets kind of that like, what is it? It's like that 90s kind of like LA Dre like piano kind of with
It's
the
like
bass.
It's like a
Right.
boppy
Underneath.
hip hop kind of thing.
Yeah,
going on.
yeah. There's so much proto Hamilton in the Heights. I always like that Lin loves to drop references to other
Right.
composers.
My man Cole Porter said.
Yeah, like, well, in Hamilton, he references, Biggie and Jason Robert Brown. And then in The Heights, he's, you must take the A train. And,
Yep,
right.
And yeah, it's too darn hot, like my man Cole Porter says.
Such a good line.
And even just, like, referencing, like, big pun tapes. Like,
Right.
there's moments of the show where you kind of... I know Lin is from a very, like we were talking about before, he's from a very... he's well off. He's from a... He's a privileged person,
Yeah.
educated parents, was able to go to really good schools. But there's those moments where you kind of feel that
Right.
like kind of 90s kid who like did
Yeah,
listen to those tapes and listen to that
like,
music.
He references like Black Star and Talib Kweli, and he's got a encyclopedic knowledge of hip hop. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
a
like
son
hip hop
of
and
it.
musical
clearly.
theater too.
And
Like it's
musical
crazy.
theater.
So that's why it's this amazing melding of those worlds that I don't know if anyone else could have really done, because you can't really bring hip hop to Broadway if you don't know hip hop, and there's so
Right.
those worlds just didn't.
Well, that's why that Tupac musical failed, because
oh
it
my
was like,
god!
that's
Holler if
hip-hop.
you hear me. Yeah.
That's some of the rap about Lin-Manuel Miranda and Hamilton, that it's for the consumption of rich white people.
Yeah.
But you can't succeed on,
It's kind of like
Without-
he knows how to play the game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the game. That's the
exactly.
Broadway game.
like with my dog. You have the medicine, right?
His
But you gotta
actual
put
dog.
it. My actual dog.
Not his
Wilbur,
dog, his dog.
My
His
dog.
dog.
My dog Wilbur is a pit bull.
Yeah.
Because of course I would have a pit bull, but like he won't eat the pill. But if you put it in the pill pocket, he loves it. So
Yeah.
I think
you make it digestible.
You make it
Right.
digestible.
so. You give them a musical format that they are comfortable with. Some songs that are familiar to them, and then you hit them with some Black Star.
And what I've always loved about Lin in the Heights when I first saw it was I was like, I think people who don't who don't know musicals or who are like kind of like casual musical goers, they go and they're like, wow, it's hip hop. And to me, I go, this is musical theater.
Right.
Because the thing is, he uses the basic structure. Like 96,000 is a perfect example. Like every character has a little theme that they sing, and then at the end they all start singing them together at the same time, and then they come together.
It's Tonight or what is it from Les Mis?
One Day More.
One Day More.
It's and then there are songs in the show that are just straight up. Breathe is a pretty much straight up musical theater song, just with the pretty like kind of mariachi singers kind of supplementing it. Even just like When You're Home is like a cute flirty duet, and then there's like an acting moment, and then there's just Yo Padre Sigue in it, and that's pretty much it. But I do appreciate that kind of the things that they would like kind of hint at and kind of subtly bringing in the subtext. Like the Dreamer stuff, they kind of put it not front and center. They made it an element of the story.
Yeah, right. I think they introduced it. It
was kind of a little
too late.
They should have done that protest scene way earlier after Sonny had invited Nina to do the protest, because that happened in like the first act, like within the first 30 minutes or something like that, and then they waited until the very last part of the movie to bring in that back.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
It's because they pushed Abuela Claudia's death earlier, and so then they cut out stuff for like Benny and Nita, so they had other stuff they had to put in there. It just was some kind of moving and shifting around of stuff. But in the stage show, obviously, kind of the only thing that really hints at that is Sonny's verse in 96,000, where he's talking about gentrification and politicians be hating. And when we saw the tour, let's see, it was 2010, and that was around the time Arizona was going through its BS. And I remember the guy playing Sonny went, Arizona be hating. Like little things like that to kind of keep it relevant to the times. I do appreciate kind of the effort, and I do think it might have hit stronger if it had come out in 2020.
Oh, totally.
But it's never bad to have that message, and especially if like you know, before we were seeing the movie, Jamie, you were talking about how you had West Side Story, and that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it. When you're when you are a young Puerto Rican actor, which is what I started with, and I'll still act if you're casting. But
we will all act.
I don't know who's out there. I'll cast you if you cast me. Oh yeah, West Side Story. When you're a Puerto Rican, young Puerto Rican kid as an actor, when I came out to LA, like you had to be a gangbanger, or you had to come out like looking tough. You had to be some sort of criminal, some sort of drug dealer, and if you're a woman, you were a maid. That's all there was. That's all there really was for Latin people to play. It was,
and then on stage, like in musicals, it'd be like West Side Story, and
that's it, West Side Story, and then
maybe like Rosie and Bye Bye Birdie, just because Cheetah created it.
Right. What's the one where they where the Puerto Rican guy tries to attack the women, and then they put him in the... What's that one?
Puerto Rican guy attacks women?
Wait, are you talking about a musical?
No, it's not a musical.
Oh!
I'm talking about theater in general, like casting in general. There's... what's that show? That movie?
I don't know.
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie and a play. William Mastrosimony wrote it. And it's three women, and the guy tries to rape a woman, and then they like... they tie him up, and then they try to kill him.
9 to 5.
It's 9 to 5. Just to see, and not even like, doing anything extraordinary, just living their lives.
Yeah.
Just living their lives.
That was almost the point of the show, was to see them living their lives, and to like that was like the theme, right?
The musical runs on emotion. It runs on emotion, and the movie I think does that really well. I think there's a lot of structure and like change story element things that are. As I watch this again, I'll probably be able to pinpoint a little more. But I think you forget all that because it is so powerful and it is so full of love and like, kind of family you choose. And the stage show is like that too, just kind of in a different way. There was just more stuff. There was more plot pushed into this.
Yeah, there's stuff. And
a lot of things. Yeah, and that's okay.
Speaking of stuff, there's a small Easter egg in a moment in the film.
Oh!
I'm not going to say what it is, and we shouldn't say what it is.
No.
But Pay attention to it.
When Jimmy Smits is on the phone, just listen to the ringtone.
You'll hear it.
Just
You'll
listen
know.
to
You'll
the
hear it.
sound.
You'll know. You'll know.
You'll know.
Can't think of now. I can't think of anything except for that show. For that show with the three women and the Latin guy.
Bang bang, you're dead.
The wool gatherer, extremities, shiver.
Extremities. But yeah, you know, I've done West Side Story. I've done West Side Story twice, and I was the only Puerto Rican on the Sharks in both of them.
Were they all white people?
Or
were there
some
at least
Italians.
Oh!
I did it with Joey Fatone of NSYNC.
Really?
And no, there was another Puerto Rican, the kid who sings Despacito.
Justin Bieber?
The other one.
Luis Fonsi.
Luis Fonsi, yeah.
He was in your West Side Story?
He was. Well, I went to high school with him. Him and Joey Fatone. They were part of a.
Stop. This is kind of a lot.
They were part of a like a doo-wop group called The Big Guy.
No, they
You
weren't.
are lying to
No,
me.
they were not.
Yes.
You guys,
But
you
Luis
heard
Fonsi
it here.
was
Luis
like
Fonsi.
nerdy, and he had like big chunky glasses
No!
and braces, and like he had an amazing voice, and he knew it. And he was always kind of he was a little dickish to me. Joey was nice because he lived like right behind.
I've only
me.
heard good things about
Yeah.
Joey Fatone.
Joey Fatone's great. Joey Fatone's great. But yeah, I was as many Puerto Ricans and Hispanics from New York do. They moved to Orlando, Florida. So
Florida.
we moved to Florida. Joey Fatone, who's not Spanish, but he moved from Brooklyn to Florida.
And then the rest is history.
And the rest is history. Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
Gerald, you're back.
Oh my God.
It was really hot in here, you guys, so I
schwitzing.
had to go lie down in my air-conditioned apartment box. So here I am again.
We
You
need
guys
to
look
go-
all schwitzy.
We need to
I'm
go
fine.
bust some hydrants.
Okay.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, let's bust open some hydrants.
That's because you can handle the heat.
I can handle the heat. It's,
When are Latin people scared of heat? All right, so
It's
final
really-
thoughts, everybody. Do we recommend? Do we like it? Will we watch again? Jamie.
I'll watch it again because it's on HBO Max.
Hey!
My roommate, who he is an editor and he doesn't like musicals, and he had a problem with the "we're not powerless, we're powerful" that's in the trailer. They hit it pretty hard. I'm gonna recommend it to him because I think that was an earned bit of dialogue.
That's
and but I think it's gorgeous. I think it's beautifully choreographed, beautifully performed. There are a couple of bits with because they clearly lip synced it.
Yeah.
So
There were some dubbing things I noticed.
there was
too.
some dubbing things.
I noticed
That
that
was
too.
the big production thing that
There's
I
one
noticed.
moment
Yeah.
where Anthony Ramos is at the pool and clearly in front of a green screen.
Oh yeah. No.
But that was the only time I kind of noticed something like that.
Right.
Reshoots.
I want to see the when they dance on the side of the building. I know they do use a gimbal and stuff, and I'd love to see the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah,
The-
yeah.
It was a
Special
great
effects and, yeah.
sequence.
Nina and Benny do
Very
a whole dance on the
seamlessly
side
done.
of a building, and it's very, it's like a modern Tonight almost. Cody / Gerald.
Well, we loved it. We had a great time watching it. I had forgotten a lot of the show, so it was really like watching it anew again in a lot of ways. And I don't know, we got emotional, and it was a lot of
We
fun.
did a lot and got teary. It was super fun.
And yeah, I'm gonna agree. You definitely have to see it. I think it's a good family musical. I think there's just a lot of good stuff all around. If you're like a musical theater, like I don't want to say snob, but stickler, or if you're very,
Aficionado.
very, very familiar with the stage show, you've seen it, you know it really well.
Just let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. I'm just saying, like, you might, let it go, or like try to just don't do what I did, which is sit there and be like, oh well.
Don't try to nitpick it.
Or just watch it again on
Right.
HBO Max, like I'm gonna do this weekend, and let it wash over you, you know. But I think it's really wonderful, and boy oh boy, it was so awesome seeing a good movie musical on a nice big screen again.
Yeah,
So-
it's great to be
It's a
back
nice
in the
change of
theaters.
genre to see a new musical on the screen.
All right.
It's good.
Well, I think we got to go jump in like a pool or kick open a hydrant. What do you guys think?
I think
thing.
that's a good idea. Let's go get some
That's
Cokes
illegal,
and glass
but I'll do it,
bottles
yeah.
and break up a fire hydrant
Woo!
and set off some
Man, the
fireworks.
Yeah.
bottle's all sweaty and everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye. We love you.